There is probably no other Hollywood studio system that has produced quite so many mega budget flops like the Walt Disney Company. And next year in 2025 promises to be perhaps no different. First up is going to be the live action remake of Snow White starring Rachel Zegler, which itself has gone under, 2 reshoots at this point. That budget's probably going to balloon to north of $400 million in gross costs before it releases, but it won't be alone next year. Captain America 4, Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as the new Sam Wilson Captain America. Well, that one's going to be coming out a few months later, and the story's not much different. Massive reshoots, massive cost overruns, and a price tag that, once all said and done, might be approaching $500 million because of poor planning, poor writing, and poor execution, once again, by Disney Marvel. And today, we're going to go through some of the details on that, including an alleged plot leak for the entire film following disastrous audience test screenings yet again. Flash in the pan does not portend long-term success. In other words, Deadpool and Wolverine racking up 1.3, 1.4 billion at the global box office is not necessarily going to translate into seeing numbers like that again. And I don't think Captain America 4, Captain Falcon, whatever, that's not what Falcon and the Winter Soldier is. And we had a good indication, obviously, many months ago now, especially when the movie was delayed. Disney has delayed a lot of films. Have you noticed this? And I'm talking about major films. We've had the delay now for Captain America 4. That was supposed to come out earlier this year. That was supposed to come out in the spring. Spring, summer, Memorial Day, kind of right in there. That was a 2024 slated film. They cacked it. They moved it back. Why? This is why. We all remember this. This is November 17th. You're reading that right. November 17th, 2023. A year ago, almost. 11 months ago to the day, almost. On a recent episode of Jeff Snyder and John Rocca's The Hot Mic, Snyder, the reputable insider, dropped surprising news about the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe sequel, Captain America Brave New World. According to him, the film is reportedly getting extensive reshoots after negative test scores. 3 major sequences will be cut, with reshoots apparently happening from January to May. So there you have it. We knew there was going to be major reshoots, and those major reshoots had a huge impact on the release date, pushing it back almost an entire year. That's where we were in November of last year. And we have had other stories since then talking about this. And when you talk about, let me, again, especially for the new folks out there, I cannot stress enough the gravity of January to May. January to May. Now, even if you talked about the very last day of January and the very first day of May, if you want to get technical on this, I don't know what it is, but let's just say it was the shortest duration possible within those months given. So basically all of February, all of March, all of April. That's 90 days. At a minimum, we're talking about 90 days of reshoots. That's an entire movie. Most movies out there have a production schedule when it comes to principal photography of about 90 days. So we're talking about almost the entire damn film could be reshot. Now, I get the fact that with these massive productions with huge amounts of post-production VFX, visual effects, CGI, integration, computer-generated imagery, and all kind of stuff, it takes more time, but that's not in the shooting schedule. That would be post-production, right? That would be probably another 3, 4, 5, 6 months again after the reshoots for all the post-production on the newly reshot material to happen. But this was a year ago. So let's see what has happened since then, right? The next thing. October 10th, 2024. Yes, just 6 days ago. John Trent from thatparkplace.com. And again, if you're not checking out thatparkplace.com each and every day, you should be. This is where a lot of news breaks. Of course, you guys know I'm a financial partner in That Park Place with Pro and others. And John Trent has been doing an amazing job. But this is what we reported a few days ago, or what John reported a few days ago on the website, I should say. A rumor claims that Marvel Studios' upcoming film, Captain America, is awful following recent test screenings. Now, wait a minute. This is October 10th of 2024. The movie's awful after recent test screenings. Wait, I swear we just read an article penned November 17th of 2023 that said the movie was awful after recent test screenings and more reshoots would need to be done. Massive reshoots, anywhere from 90 to maybe 150 days. 3 to 5 months could be in there. Yeah, that's exactly what we just read. You're reading this right. You are reading this right. 1 entire year later, after a massive amount of reshoots, we are talking about a film that now, I promise you, and I've got another Renegade Was Right to show you. God bless you, Caroline Reed. I love you. Well, I'm going to give you another one right here. I hope you're listening, Caroline. I know you probably do. Right now, Captain America, Brave New World. And the problem with this one, I think there's a lot of domestic shooting on this, if not mistaken. So this is going to be hard to come by. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we'll get there. I don't see how this film doesn't get to the, $350 to $400 million production cost mark. And I think it possibly could go higher than 400. And given what we've seen recently with news from the Marvels, which we, believe it or not, we have an update on that as well. And that's what I'm talking about, Caroline's newest piece, where she referenced me again. That one was almost $400 million raw costs, gross expenses to produce the film, nearly $370 million. Okay, I don't know how Captain America 4 at this point in time is not going to be more. It seems to me that the reshoots have been more extensive maybe than even the Marvels, and I have to imagine the post-production is going to be at least as intense, if not more intense. And the Marvels don't have people in there that command, or a lot of people in there that command a lot of money. And I mean like actors. Harrison Ford, people like that. And God knows what other cameos that they have stuck into this film to make this happen. We might be talking about a massive expenditure here that's just on the order of stupid. We might actually see Captain America Brave New World reach, Rise of Skywalker levels, $500+ million, which would be obscene. I just don't know yet, but it's starting to feel like we're getting there. So, but in any case, a year later, we have, after all the reshoots, after all of, or at least several months of post-production visual effects added in, obviously this was probably still an unfinished film, but test audiences saw this and are reporting that it is terrible. It is still terrible after massive reshoots. My Time to Shine Hello, which I know it sounds ridiculous, but this account on X has dropped quite a number of dimes in the past. So it is an account to be recognized, I think, in all fairness. Doesn't mean that everything that they say is 100% accurate, but they obviously know some stuff. I'll just leave it there. Just heard back from like 3 people who went to see Captain America Brave New World on a test screening, and woof, the movie sounds awful. It was also previously reported by Jordan Rumi at World of Real. He wrote, 2 different cuts of the film test screened last week. So this is in the same genre. This is the same iteration of the film. This is the Mark II or maybe the Mark III version of Brave New World. The person who attended didn't seem to like the movie that much. He added, the reactions I have heard have not been very kind to this movie, which is being described as, quote, inessential and, quote, flat. Wow. When you want to talk about an inessential movie. I mean, to me, that means this movie doesn't even need to exist. And it's probably just a lot of eye candy bait, I'm going to guess, because they're going to stick a lot of fan favorite Marvel characters in there, maybe some of them that died in Endgame with multiverse trickery. I think the trailers for Captain America are going to be extraordinarily deceptive. Let's just say that. Okay? I expect to see Captain America trailers that look like the Marvel's trailers, where they lead off with a bunch of footage from Endgame and make you think all these people are going to be in it, but the audience didn't fall for it, obviously. Watch out here with Brave New World. I'm telling you right now, Marvel's going to try the same trick. The test screenings appear to have taken place following significant reshoots for the film that were initially rumored to last anywhere between 3 months and 22 days. It was initially reported by scooper Daniel RPK via Marvel News Films in January that the film would undergo reshoots from May until August. Jeff Snyder, again, according to the previous article, had reported January through May. I think both could be true. I think there's some truth to each, and what I mean by that is we don't know exactly when they started or exactly when they ended, and some of this might include a massive amount of new post-production, which obviously it would have to. The Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kitt reported at the end of May that reshoots would last 22 days and would include the introduction of Giancarlo Esposito's new villain character. The reshoots eventually took place throughout August. I think it's probably longer than 22 days. I don't know how they reshot that much, or what they had to do. 3 entire sections of the film, apparently, according to Jeff Snyder originally, that had to be redone. Interestingly enough, Tim Blake Nelson, who will play the leader in the film, revealed that he shot the entire movie twice. He told The Hollywood Reporter in September this year, 2024, well, we're done. I've shot it. I've actually shot it twice because I did it originally a year ago, and then we came back and redid a lot of it at the beginning of this summer. There may have been other shoots going on with, for example, just Harrison Ford or just Anthony Mackie or something, scenes that maybe he wasn't involved in that took place from January till May. We don't know. But I think this thing is obscene in terms of what's going on. They go on to talk about a lot of things we had before. Every Marvel movie I've done has between 6 weeks and 3 months of reshoots. It's just how it works. No, it really isn't. It may be how it works at Marvel, but that's not normal for a film. Again, this just goes back to the piss-poor planning that Marvel has done over the years of actually producing content, because they throw spaghetti against the wall and they wait to see what test audiences will say about it and then go back and reshoot more. That may have worked to an extent, although still very poorly in the days where they were making money hand over fist. But they are now losing money hand over fist. They can't keep doing this. But again, obviously, this movie was greenlit and put into motion. This was before COVID, right? Because there was already designs on making Anthony Mackie the new Captain America from the time we got Endgame. So, I mean, this has been long in the works. But wait, kids, there's more. And this is the new piece here. And this released just a couple of days ago. Full plot for Captain America Brave New World allegedly leaks, following the test screenings that were reportedly awful. All right? So here we go. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, well, it doesn't matter, because probably most of the people watching this are not going to go bother to see this movie. Sam fights the Serpent Society dude with golden fang knives. The guy has super soldier strength, but Sam beats him before more soldiers arrive. Sidewinder gets away. Sam does stuff and things. He gets invited to the White House. They take a picture with Harrison Ford's president character. It goes through a lot of detail here, but needless to say, it's about as boring as it sounds as I'm reading it. President Ross, Harrison Ford's character, informs Sam that he wants to lead a new Avengers team. Ross and Sam meet up and tells him, I need you to lead the Avengers. And Sam is reluctant, but says, well, I'll give it a shot. He says that turns into the plot opening scene of X2, X-Men United, with the president almost being assassinated and other mind-controlled security guard soldiers in the room. Sam look at security footage inside the White House, see that Isaiah looks down at his phone, hypnotized by flashing lights. The audience didn't react well to this. Ross is the Red Hulk, right? He visits this guy who turns him into the Red Hulk to save his life so he won't die in office. Oh, wait, they go to Stark Technologies, okay, where they meet some dude who is the smartest engineer there. I don't know where they found this actor, says the source who spilled the beans on the plot. Probably somebody who saw a test screening, but the actor is not very good at all. President Ross is bunkered down away from danger. He's trying to get the world leaders to agree on a peace treaty and is having trouble with Japan getting on board after Japan thinks America robbed it of its adamantium or something along those lines. This leads to Torres and Wilson meeting up with Ross as an American battleship and Japanese battleships fight with each other in a big set piece in the Indian Ocean. Big CGI-filled action scene that ends with Torres falling out of the air into the water, but then rescued by a medic. It's a redo of World War II, America versus Japan. It then alleges that the Winter Soldier does make a cameo. Bucky swings by to check on Sam, makes a speech, jokes about how it was written, then says he has a fundraiser to get to, and nopes the F out of the movie. Probably a lot of other people that should have noped the F out of this movie. Ross finds out he's being set up by Stearns to make Japan and other world leaders not want to work with him because of reasons, something to do with the Serpent Society stealing adamantium. But Ross goes to a press conference at the White House where all of a sudden the leader's vaguely portrayed mind control sounds start playing through the speaker, eventually causing Harrison to Hulk out. Sam meets the leader who admits his evil plan and thinks Sam will die because he's not Steve Rogers. He's not. Sam says, "I love to prove people wrong." Sam shows up at the scene with Red Hulk, and the two tear up the White House. Very January 6th evoking imagery at times. Was the White House or the Capitol building torn up on January 6th? Did I miss something? I remember there were issues with laptops and feet on desks. Cops escorting people around the building. I saw that one. The Capitol Police going to escort Red Hulk around the White House, let him beat it up. I don't understand the comparison, but okay, fair enough. They eventually start hashing it out, and the fight culminates with Sam stabbing one of his wings into Ross's side, which causes him to transform back into Harrison, but he's still all scratched up. After the fight, the leaker shares Ross is locked up in the raft, is told by Sam, "How does it feel to be locked up?" Ross is like, "Well, at least I'm safe," and they made a point to have Sam literally say to the president, "Thank you for taking accountability for your own actions and turning yourself in voluntarily," where Ross is then met by his daughter Betty, and oh boy, does Liv Tyler look Botoxed up to high hell. Damn. It then ends. Sam visits Torres in the hospital. They joke about Torres being from Miami and visiting Wakanda to get new things. That's it? A mid-credits scene. So we're already to the credits. That's the whole movie. Yeah, that's going to suck. Oh, this sounds rough. It sounds boring. What's interesting here is that the leaker, again, I suspect somebody who saw a test screening, right? The leaker here did not seem to indicate any real cameos, apart from Winter Soldier briefly showing up and cracking a joke and then peacing out. That's not going to be good. That means if they can't sell something in this, and maybe they hid it from test screening audiences, that is a possibility. They didn't want to reveal a big secret, and there may be another character that comes in. But the fact that this is the entire film, and if there is any major character missing, they obviously don't have a huge role in this movie. It's literally just a BS cameo to put in a trailer to fake audiences out to coming to see it. This doesn't sound good. Okay, in the mid-credit scene, Sam visits the leader in the raft, mentions something about, and the raft is the jail, right? That was the jail from Captain America Civil War, right, if I'm not mistaken. He mentions something about giving Hulk juice to Amadeus Cho, and Stearns goes, "Something big and bad is coming," and Sam is like, "I'll be ready." That's it. No one else shows up. I don't know if it's referring to Dr. Doom or incursions or what. The leader is supposed to be all-knowing, but they did a weak job at portraying that. If they think that this plot, this story is going to drag the audiences in a la Deadpool and Wolverine. Ooh, I wouldn't take that bet. This movie sounds like a $400+ million nothing burger. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.